The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our flat bar. So refer to your blueprint. It's the section titled the cut list for your flat bar. Basically, it's going to be 6 pieces. Refer to the blueprint for the exact lengths and angles. But they're just all going to go in at the end here at the same plane as our inner frame. And this is so when we put our decking in, the boards are going to rest on here. And then we're going to screw through these. So there's going to be a piece between every one of the inner frame and then the inner frame and outer frame on both ends. So as you can see here, I got this piece here in the middle, and then this one's going to go like so. There'll be another one over there, and then 3 more at the front. So look at your blueprint. It'll explain clearly exactly what lengths and angles to cut everything at. I'm just going to go over how to tack weld these in so that we get a correct spacing. So like I said, we're going to want to have the top of this flush with the top of our inner frame, and this inner frame, as we know, is 1 3/4 inches below the top of our outer frame and the top of our tail. So what I use is magnets, and I just, as you can see here, I just stick this up against the bottom of the magnets, tight against the tail. This is piece A from the diagram. Another thing to note is I ground off the corners with my grinder because there's welds in all of these seams, and so you're going to have to nick off your corners so that it fits tight in there and that your corner doesn't hit on your weld. So just grind off all of the corners so that they fit nicely with your weld. But I use magnets, gets it nice and flush, and then I just tack weld both corners on both sides of the flat bar, and then after that, we will go over how to tack weld the center part of it, but I'm going to go ahead and tack weld the ends. So when you do the middle part of this, you just want to make sure that it is 1 3/4 inches below the top surface the entire way. So I just use a tape measure, do a middle measurement, make sure it's 1 3/4 inches below this edge here. You can kind of pull it up or down depending. Mine is pretty good right here, so I'm just going to weld it. But just make sure you tack weld probably 3 positions on each piece before you solid weld to make sure it doesn't warp or anything like that. So mine's 1 3/4 inches down. I'm going to tack weld it. So I'm going to repeat the process for, this is piece C from the diagram. This goes, it's got 2 9-degree angles that are parallel with each other. Again, look at your blueprint, it's going to lay that out clearly, but it just fits right in here. And when you do this, I'm actually going to show you the other side first. So this line here I have measured. This is 1 3/4 inches down from the top of the outside frame here. So just get yourself a line 1 3/4 inches down from the top and line up your flat bar, the top edge of that, with your line. That just ensures that this is all at the same level. Make sure you do that on the other side as well. So I'm going to use my magnet on this end. My line is guidance on the far end. I'm going to go ahead and repeat that over here. I got a line drawn at 1 3/4 inches from the top here on this inside that you can't see, but same process as we did over there. And obviously on these side pieces, we're going to do the same thing. Just take a measurement in the center. Make sure that we are at 1 3/4 inches below the top surface. Flex it up or down if you need to. And then after that, we're just going to throw solid welds, just a few stitch welds along all the edges, and then solid weld our seams here. So I'm going to do that in fast mo, but and then we're going to go to the front and repeat it. So once you get all that stitch welded in, we're going to do the same exact thing on the front side. So just make sure you get it all 1 3/4 below the surface, which will be flush with the inner frame, and 1 3/4 down from the top side of your outer frame. So it should be pretty self-explanatory up there. Just repeat that up at the front side, and if you are unclear on which pieces go where, just refer to your diagram.